feel betrayed by the Tom and Jerry movie. I have already talked about how it doesn't have a Blu-ray port, it's only Blu-ray port digital. But the biggest betrayal of the Tom and Jerry movie is there's no 4K release. Okay, even Scoob got a 4K release. Godzilla's gonna get a 4K release. You know that we all know Godzilla's gonna get a 4K release. Even have a release date for June now for Godzilla. You know, Mortal Kombat's gonna get a 4K release and probably a Blu-ray combo pack as well. But Tom and Jerry, no one cares about Tom and Jerry. No one's gonna watch it. You know, that's probably according to Warner Bros. It got so poorly reviewed, you know, that no one's gonna watch it anyway. It won't really matter. But you know what other movie got poorly reviewed? And got on down? Waiting in the trap. We see Waiting Trap. Waiting Trap does have a movie, but no one cares about that. Those garbage Disney remakes. Okay, it's really compared to those Disney remakes. You know what's bad movie? You know what movie that did get bad reviews that got a 4K and Blu-ray DVD release date? Well, I will tell you one movie, and that's Wonder Woman 1984, of course. Wonder Woman 1984, of course, it got the Blu-ray plus DVD plus its own treatment, and even got 3D Blu-ray and a 4K. But not Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry, you know what? No one likes Tom and Jerry. Got the same reviews as Wonder Woman 1984. But Wonder Woman gets a 4K, but not Tom and Jerry. Even though I bet Tom and Jerry is probably the better film than Wonder Woman 1984, because at least the movie does not talk down to its audience like it's a feminist, like it's the greatest movie ever made. You know, like, oh my god, it's a great feminist icon. Like, nobody gives a crap about the feminist bullcrap. But, you know what other movie got Blu-ray? Because, you know, because Disney said, oh yeah, we're going to stop making movies with Blu-ray plus DVD unless it's PG. Okay, which means the newer Star Wars are excluded, Marvel Cinematic Universe is excluded, but of course, because at least Disney understands at least that, you know, all of the animated movies, let's just for example Soul, which came out the same day as Wonder Woman 1984, you know, at least they understand that, you know, younger people who are, you know, who have older relatives who want to watch movie, who have parents who still buy Blu-rays for them, that they're gonna want to watch their favorite, you know, animated movies in the car. The only problem is that a lot of kids also like Star Wars and Marvel. But again, Disney doesn't understand that, and they just do it only for the animated movies. Basically, any movie that is below a rating of PG-13 does not get a DVD Blu-ray release date. Which is why a movie like Call of the Wild got Blu-ray plus DVD release date digital, but not a movie like Alita would not get a Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital code release date. There. Here, same thing. It got a 4K treatment, and it didn't get the 3D treatment because nobody buys 3D movies anymore. But you can see here that Soul got the Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital treatment, but Warner Bros. Seems to be doing the complete opposite of Disney, and that's completely odd. Okay, like Monster Hunter didn't get the treatment, but nobody likes Monster Hunter. That's the thing. Nobody's gonna watch this movie. Everybody hates this movie. Okay, everybody hates Monster Hunter, but at least they gave it the 4K treatment. Unlike Tom and Jerry, it got worse reviews than Tom and Jerry, but at least it got the 4K treatment. So those people who, and again, most people are gonna watch Monster Hunter will be over the age of 30, anyways. Okay, you know, and again, you know, or gonna watch it on like some streaming service. So no one, so they don't really care, you know. And also there is a pandemic going on, so there's gonna be less movies of the Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital format. But you look at Tenet. Okay, this is a movie that is not for kids. Okay, it's a more of a artistic film, basically. It got the Blu-ray plus DVD treatment, but not Tom and Jerry. This is just, I just don't understand Warner Bros. And what they are deciding what gets the Blu-ray DVD treatment and doesn't. Okay, Tenet is a movie. You know, if they should really just do the Disney approach, then if they're gonna do it like that, because not many kids are gonna want to watch Tenet in the car. Not many kids are gonna want to watch Tenet. Like, yeah, kids are gonna want to watch Wonder Woman and Batman and stuff because a lot of kids love superheroes, especially boys. They love superheroes. Okay, which is why I do appreciate that Warner Bros. Is still gonna put the DVD with Wonder Woman, because there are kids who still love superhero movies. Okay, and people and their parents they'll buy DVDs so they can watch it in the car. Of course, a lot of people are now choosing streaming, but there are still people hold on to DVDs and Blu-rays, they're gonna want to watch the superhero movies alongside the and the younger kids are gonna want to watch their favorite animated movies and superhero movies and basically, and Star Wars if they like Star Wars or into Star Wars. And like a kid's not gonna say, "Oh yeah, can we bring Tenet?" No kid's gonna say that because it's a more adult movie with more adult themes. Okay, Mulan even got the Blu-ray plus DVD plus the little code treatment, and no one liked this movie. Okay, like Tom and Jerry and Wonder Woman, nobody liked this movie, but it still got the proper Blu-ray treatment. Of course, it got the Disney treatment. Disney treated actually decided like 2018 after Thor Ragnarok released that they basically said any movie over the rating of PG will not get a Blu-ray DVD treatment, and that's what they're doing with the movies. Basically saying, oh yeah, kids are still gonna want to watch. Like for example, go to the grandparents' house. They're still gonna want to watch Frozen, and because it comes with a DVD, we're gonna watch, or whatever animated movie they come out with, like for example, Soul, or Luca, that's their next movie, and Kuya, I don't know, Kuya is PG-13, but you'll see that they'll still point it out. I think it'll be the same thing with Raya and the Lost Dragon. They'll still get the standard run-of-the-mill Blu-ray release date because kids are gonna want to watch this movie on Blu-ray. Okay, at the grandparents' house, if they only have a DVD player, then they have to bring the DVD, which is why most movies did come with a DVD. It's because in that era, when Blu-rays were thus familiarizing, they decided to put all the movies with Blu-ray and DVD combo pack because they said, oh yeah, kids are gonna want to bring their favorite movies or family members, and their family member only had a DVD player, so I guess we had to bring the DVD with. But I think the problem of the Blu-ray, I think the thing is that people are not really using DVD players anymore, okay? People are starting to move on to either streaming or, of course, just having a 4K Blu-ray player or just a standard Blu-ray player. 4K Blu-ray players are getting cheaper, and it'll be the same thing with 4K Blu-rays. They're going to get cheaper and cheaper. 4K Blu-rays are mostly bought by collectors. Collectors are most of the people who buy 4K Blu-rays. They're mostly bought by mostly collectors who collect movies. Okay, so they can impress people online. So they can either impress people online or basically impress their friends or colleagues. Oh my God, I love all these movies. I have all these movies. I'm so great. Basically like that. And the only thing is there's still parents who still buy Blu-rays for the kids. Okay, there's still parents who still buy Blu-rays, and I think what Disney is doing is they're saying, oh yeah, we're gonna just do our big animated movies because we all know most people under the age of 13 are just gonna switch over. Most people in this generation are gonna switch to streaming anyways. There's only watching Blu-rays because their parents don't want them to get a streaming service, so they're gonna have to have Blu-rays for the animated movies. Because I think that's why Disney is taking the Disney approach, which I still don't like the Disney approach to things. I don't like Disney in general. Okay, now considering all the things they have said over the past 2 years, basically about people and stuff. Them firing Gina Carano, them making pointless remakes, but they'll still make billions of dollars. Them making low quality sequels, but they still make $1 billion. Them moving Marvel, them moving Star Wars. A lot of bad things that Disney has done that I do not like. Even Pixar is ruined to some point. Disney is basically ruining everything it touches. And of course, the critics will, of course, eat up everything that Disney puts out, giving the movies perfect reviews. For example, Raya and the Last Dragon, nobody really cared about Raya and the Last Dragon because people are fed up with Disney. And of course, Disney's back to take out, oh, yes, because of streaming. No, Raya and the Last Dragon is probably not really doing that well no matter where it is because nobody's going to pay $40 to watch this, okay? This movie actually costs more on Disney Plus than it does with theaters. Unless you like having a massive watch party of like 10 people, which an average theater ticket is like $10. So, you know, but if it's just a family of three or just one person, it's more, it costs less to go to the theaters than to watch this movie on Disney Plus. Okay, it costs less money, and of course they're two totally different experiences. Same thing with, and again, it's because it's on a streaming service, you don't get to keep the movie. Again, watching it theaters, it's like you watch it once, but if you compare it to streaming the Blu-ray, Raya and the Lost Dragon, you don't get to keep the movie. Okay, if you, for example, if you get if your subscription expires, for example, a month after you bought the movie, you either have to renew the subscription or you have to wait until it comes out on Blu-ray. Those are the only two options, and there is gonna be a rise of physical media. I think there's gonna be a second rise in physical media because a lot of people are gonna realize that digital media is not that great. It isn't. Okay, I've been saying this for a while. Digital media is not that great because you don't own it. You don't own anything on digital media. Amazon even came out themselves and said it last year. You don't own anything on digital media. You don't own it. For example, a lot of people are sad that the B movie and the Mario TV show is leaving Netflix. Well, maybe if you didn't rely on streaming to watch your movies, if you want to watch your favorite childhood movie again, you should just buy a DVD player or a Blu-ray player and just buy them on DVD. There, problem solved. Problem solved. Okay, same thing of all the Disney movies. Of course, they're not going to move the Disney movies after Disney Plus, but what if your thing expires and you don't have enough money to pay yearly for Disney Plus? It's gonna be a problem because they're gonna continue raising the price of Disney Plus. Okay, they're gonna continue raising the price of Disney Plus. They're gonna continue raising the price of Netflix. They're gonna continue raising the price of HBO Max and all these other streaming services. Okay, until like 10 years from now, Disney Plus is $20 a month. Okay, HBO Max and Netflix are $30 a month. Okay, basically. And soon, it's going to be like that. Okay? And Netflix is dying anyways because they keep producing garbage like Cuties. Okay? That nobody wants to see. Nobody wants to see Cuties. Okay? Disney, they're gonna attempt to use their brands to force people to buy Disney Plus. I think it's gonna eventually fail because of what Disney is treating the brands. Everybody's already angry at Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But you can see here that Disney is not really being... People are trying to wake up to the truth about Disney, which is good. People are trying to wake up to the truth about this company, that, is not the same company that they used to be 20 years ago. Even 10 to 7 years ago. Or even 5 years ago, okay? Disney has radically changed as a company. Disney has radically changed from a company that, loves everybody, is for everybody. Everybody can appreciate Disney, to basically a greedy monopolistic company that wants to take over entertainment and wants to buy up every single brand out there. Okay, basically there. And people say, but you didn't complain about Microsoft buying out all these other game developers. Well, at least Microsoft has competition in Sony and Microsoft. Disney basically may soon have no competition if they continue to buy up every other movie studio out there. The movie industry is far different than the gaming industry. Okay, Microsoft is not gonna buy out Sony and Nintendo anytime soon, or Nintendo's not gonna buy out Sony anytime soon, and Sony's not gonna buy out Nintendo or Microsoft because all three are so big companies. Sony is a massive company, bigger than people think they are, and especially Nintendo. Nintendo has some of the most valuable brands in the world, which is Mario and Pokemon. Okay, two of the main most valuable brands in the world. Brands, I mean IPs. I'm talking about media brands. Of course, you can go to valuable brands. You have Apple, Facebook, and all that stuff. But the highest grossing media franchise. What is the highest grossing media franchise? Of course, a Disney fan will probably tell you Mickey. They'll probably try to tell you it is Star Wars. Well, the highest grossing media franchise of all history is actually a relatively new franchise. It's owned by Nintendo, and that's Pokemon. Estimated $100 billion. That is actually far more than Winnie the Pooh, owned by Disney, Mickey Mouse, owned by Disney, Star Wars, owned by Disney, it can go further down here. We have Mario, the entire franchise, you know, as well. But again, most of the stuff in the higher and the most valuable fans that is not Nintendo is owned by Disney or owned by like some Japanese companies. These like Hello Kitty and Hanapapon. Here. And then the highest grossing media franchise that is not owned by Disney or Nintendo or a Japanese company is Harry Potter. And Transformers and Spider-Man and Batman and Dragon Ball Z, Call of Duty. Call of Duty, the highest grossing non-Nintendo gaming franchise here. And you could go further down here, you can go further down here. There's not really any other Nintendo IPs other side of Pokemon and Mario. There's Wii, which doesn't really count as a franchise because the Wii's dead. But yeah, Nintendo doesn't really have that many other big franchises that are serious money makers. No wonder why Nintendo is trying to make new franchises. We have Halo further down here on this list. You have Fortnite. Fortnite is also relatively new. Donkey Kong was a part of the Mario franchise. It is its own series technically, but then we have Zelda. That means Zelda is the fourth biggest Nintendo franchise. I think soon will be Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is relatively recent to this. Here. But the Metroid is not a part of Nintendo's Big Three. I'm sorry. Metroid is not a part of Nintendo's Big Three as well. It's not. It is not. Okay. Nintendo's biggest free franchise is Pokemon, Mario, and Zelda. Excluding Wii and Donkey Kong, which Donkey Kong and Mario did start in the same game as together, so I do not count Donkey Kong. With Donkey Kong did spin off as its own series, but again, most of Donkey Kong's revenue comes from the arcade game, which includes both Mario and Donkey Kong in it as well. Most of it comes from the arcade games, because the arcade game was very popular back in the day. Here. Even says video games, $1.462 billion, because, Zelda sells pretty well, and Animal Crossing will soon be on this list as well. Animal Crossing has become one of Nintendo's biggest franchises. I could even say that Animal Crossing is the Nintendo's third biggest franchise at this point, after the massive success of New Horizons. After the success of New Horizons, they have not updated this. Animal Crossing could safely be Nintendo's third biggest franchise. Okay, besides Mario and Pokemon. There's actually a funny thing is Zelda Breath of the Wild sold more copies than Pokemon Sword and Shield. But Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise of all time, so there. And of course Mario is basically the face of Nintendo. And Zelda will have I think a more accurate term would be the Big Four. Because Animal Crossing is just people can't really argue that Animal Crossing is not one of Nintendo's biggest franchises anymore, okay? People can't argue against that anymore. Animal Crossing is one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, okay? Like, for example, when Animal Crossing was revealed for the Switch, everybody was, like, super excited, okay? And then, people can say, oh, yeah, the only reason why Animal Crossing New Horizons sold so much because of the pandemic. Well, even if it was help from the pandemic, Animal Crossing still sold 30 million copies. It is one of Nintendo's only free franchises that ever reached 30 million copies outside of the Wii games. Okay, whereas again, since there was no more Wii, that Wii can't be called one of Nintendo's biggest franchises. So, Zelda Breath of the Wild is actually the first Zelda game that ever crossed the 20 million mark. So, the best-selling games of all time. Here we have the best-selling games of all time. Some games I was missing, like Overwatch, sold like 50 million copies, and that's not here. But you can see there's a lot of Nintendo games on this list. And you have Pokemon on this list, a lot of Pokemon games. Pokemon Sword and Shield didn't sell as well as people think it did. It didn't have a third version, but actually still sold pretty well. It still managed to get on the best-selling games of all time, outselling games like The Last of Us, which again, I think its sequel it's going to kind of ruin its reputation now. But you have a lot of Nintendo games on this list. Okay, yeah, Minecraft is also one of the highest grossing non Nintendo IPs, but Minecraft is relatively new. I think Minecraft could possibly take over Pokemon in the future, but we have Mario, Pokemon. Okay, if you want to talk about Nintendo's biggest franchises, you have to talk about franchises that have reached this list. So you have Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, and Smash Bros. This is franchises that are probably gonna get new games in the series. Again, I think Nintendo's gonna make Smash Bros. Without Sakurai. I think Nintendo will easily do that, especially with the help of Bandai Namco Studios and probably the development teams of there. Sakurai is gonna probably choose someone that he knows personally, or someone that he knows personally to pick over Smash Bros. He trusts someone within Nintendo's ranks, because people say, but Smash Bros. Would be ruined without Sakurai. Smash Bros. Would be ruined without Sakurai. This is Nintendo we're talking about. Okay, Nintendo themselves really, it's not the Sakurai. It's just really Nintendo themselves put a lot of passion and a lot of love into the video games, unlike most other developers really do. You know, we should talk about the thing about Overwatch, the guy leaving Overwatch. I think Overwatch is really dead without him, Jeff Kaplan. I think he was the person that was keeping Overwatch alive. So kind of and again, I don't think Overwatch is gonna disappear because Jeff Kaplan's not making Overwatch, but. It could be the same thing applied, but again, Sakurai, he has been working on Smash Bros. For 2 decades now. Okay, you know, 2 decades. Okay, he could have easily made something else, but we also have the best-selling video game franchises. The list of the fastest-selling products: Mario, Pokemon. We Animal Crossing is not up here because Animal Crossing has less games under its belt, only 64 million. But this for Animal Crossing is a relatively new series. Okay, it's a new franchise. Okay. And Minecraft, that's not even including the. I can see fastest selling products. Video games. Yeah, then we see Nintendo start to pop up. New Horizons should be included on this list. Yeah, it's on Japan. Regional games in Japan. Animal Crossing should be on this list too. As well. Don't know why it isn't. Considering it sold out so quickly. Everybody want Animal Crossing New Horizons. Well, I think it's gross amount of money, but yeah, Animal Crossing sold 31 million. Sold the same. Actually, Animal Crossing was sold the same amount of copies that GTA 5 made in it. Sold in a year, basically. Wouldn't be surprised. And yeah, that's basically it. Goodbye.